Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Sally Lemis. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. Saipan was without power for almost 2 hours. We have the details. Also tonight, House panel finalizes list of witnesses for the governor's investigation. And cabinet members are asked to pay back thousands of dollars in overtime. In sports, the countdown to the Northern Marianas Pacific Mini Games is underway. Stay with us, these stories and more are next.
Dad never told me he was afraid of heights. But he still climbed that tree anyway.
Dad never told me he didn't like my boyfriend. He drove us to prom anyway.
Dad never told me he was really shy. He made sure we won the party games anyways.
Dad never told me that he'd miss me. But his hug took forever anyway. Love you, Dad.
Oh, yeah.
And there you have it, McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich. From the makers of the world's most stolen fries. The juicy chicken sandwich from the place that offers extra napkins for a reason. The tender chicken sandwich from the creators of a sandwich phenomenon. So you won't just be biting into a chicken sandwich, you'll be biting into McDonald's new crispy, juicy, tender chicken sandwich. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Half a day to the Wami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Wednesday, June 16, 2021. An island-wide power outage slowed Saipan down for a couple of hours today. CUC reports that at 10:28 this morning, an auto trip on diesel engine number 6 resulted in an island-wide power outage. The auto trip shut down feeders 4 and 7 and Kizu 2. As a protective measure, CUC shut down the other engines as well. Water services were also affected. The power outage lasted almost 2 hours. An investigation into the governor's expenditures intensifies as Chairwoman Babauta discloses witnesses may be called to testify next week. The House Committee on Judiciary and Governmental Operations has reopened the investigation into the expenditures of Governor Ralph Torres. Chairwoman Selena Babauta states they have come up with a list of 15 potential witnesses who will either testify before the committee or submit requested documents. Babauta cannot disclose who they are at this time.
A good majority of them are CNMI government employees, and the reason why we came up with this list is because the governor has implicated them in these documents by writing their names in. So we're out for the truth, right? This is not a witch hunt. This is certainly not a political vendetta. It is not to be construed as a personal attack against the governor or his family.
The JGO committee has already issued out 1309 letters to the potential witnesses and expects to have them appear before lawmakers next week. So far, Babauta states there are more than 8,000 documents of reimbursements, travel details, and much more.
Not only his reimbursement, his travel documents. We're looking into misuse of government resources, not only financial resources, but other resources as well. So if there are any impeachment charges based on the investigation we're conducting right now, we will have to come up with a committee report and make recommendations through there. And also, once the investigation is completed, if there are any charges for impeachment, certainly it is our prerogative to prepare articles of impeachment to be introduced to the full House.
Back in April, the JGO committee formally reopened the investigation after the Speaker referred a report prepared by minority members who are now part of the leadership.
In those, it certainly finds that the governor did travel on first class or premier class against the Planning and Budgeting Act. There are also instances where the governor was reimbursed for a lot of things that are questionable. His power, utilities, when he goes on his trips, there are certainly findings there. Based on the documents we have already examined, there are findings there that may not be for public purpose or for any government agency.
The JGO committee has given themselves a timeline of 60 days to conduct the investigation. More from Babauta. The rep says a push for collection of paid out overtime has resulted in a demand letter issued by the Attorney General's office asking a number of administration officials to return overtime payments made in the aftermath of Typhoon Yutu.
I'm very appreciative of the Attorney General's office for finally issuing the restitution letters to cabinet members who are affected. However, we feel that the list is incomplete.
Babauta states her committee will be following up on this matter soon.
There are certainly more individuals that got overtime who, according to the Attorney General's opinion himself, that was issued on January 13, 2020. There's other officials who were not on the list, so we want to follow up with it eventually, sooner rather than later. Follow up, does the Attorney General's office or the Public Auditor's office have any plans to collect from other individuals?
Currently, there are 8 cabinet members and 11 municipal officials who have been sent demand letters for return of wrongfully paid overtime. In the letter, Attorney General Edward Manibusan wrote that even if the governor's directives were intended to authorize payments to these exempted employees, there is no legal basis for doing so.
I don't doubt their service. It was evident. However, the law is the law, and nobody is above the law.
They have until June 30 to contact the Attorney General to discuss the matter. The exploration of a travel bubble between the NMI and Korea could start to take shape with a scheduled trip now planned for the end of the month.
MVA's managing director at a board meeting today said Governor Torres is planning to lead a delegation to Korea at the end of June to discuss a travel bubble between the NMI and Korea. The bubble would potentially allow Koreans visiting the NMI to return to Korea without having to quarantine for 14 days, which is the current norm. MVA's Warren Villagomez, Ivan Kichicho, and Viola Alapujo, along with a representative from CPA and Governor Torres, are expected to meet with Korean officials in late June and early July in Seoul. Also on the agenda, services provided at a number of the major tour sites, including Bonsai Cliff, the Grotto Bird Island, and Lau Lau Dive Site. Several years ago, after a rash of theft incidences and vandalism, MVA began providing security services during the day at some of the busiest tour sites. These services were suspended in March of last year. The board today voted to extend a new request for proposal for a new contract of security and maintenance services. Also today, the MVA board discussed the renewal of the contract of MVA's managing director, Priscilla Jacopo.
The board made some recommendations, and in order to improve the managing director's managing style, for lack of a better word, I'm not sure how to word that, in the form of training and communication. And she has the support of the board if she is to make recommendations on whether it's training for herself, or training for the managers, or training for the entire management and staff of MVA. So we look forward to those recommendations from you.
For me to carry forward all of the MVA's mission, goals, objectives, and it's more than ever in a very challenging time impacted by COVID-19. I will adhere to the recommendations and feedback, and I'll be proactive in ensuring that I correct those for the better. For the better of not only myself, all managers and staff, and for MVA. And I would like to ask for your continued support and guidance as we channel through these difficult times, and putting us and continue to put us on the map, and attract all visitors from all sorts of countries to really visit the Marianas, as we have a lot of things to offer here.
At this time, I'd like to have a motion from the board on whether to renew or not the contract for the managing director.
Chairwoman, I'd like to make a motion that the board approve the renewal of Director Jacopo for another year, as she has satisfactorily performed her previous contract, and I would like to see her to continue to do her good work.
Coming up, training for Fire Academy begins. Stay tuned.
The smoothie of the month for Gold's Gym, Strawberry Mango Tropicana, priced at just $5.50. It includes non-fat or soy milk, strawberry, banana pre-post, strawberries, and mango. 398 calories, 5 grams of fat, 20 grams of protein, 45 grams of carbs. Bring your own cup and save 50 cents. Smoothie of the month, Gold's Gym, Garapan.
We're in a race whether we know it or not.
And build our new normal.
Pinapamalit si PL.
Let's vaccinate, Saipan!
Green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles call the Mariana Islands home. They are an important part of the marine ecosystem. They are under threat, and they are protected under CNMI law. Keep plastic out of the ocean. Keep vehicles off the beach. Use the Sea Turtle Stranding Hotline if you see poaching activities or if you see a turtle in trouble. Call 287-8537 and save a turtle.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. The Youth Congress held their first session this afternoon, passing 3 bills, one requiring students to take Chamorro and Carolinian language classes. Speaker Ciela Long authored a bill requiring all Sinamay public schools to teach at least 1 full year of the Chamorro or Carolinian language. Long says there is a need for cultural immersion.
I noticed that a lot of the students were lacking cultural immersion, especially in our native language, which is Chamorro and or Carolinian here. I felt that, you know, the best way for us to culturally immerse ourselves and to keep the language from dying within our islands would be to have the classes required for elementary, middle school, and high school. So I'm just glad that, you know, we could at least put the notice out there for PSS. Even if it's just a fast class with no praxis involved, that would be great just to have a start and culturally immerse the kids.
The Sinamay has a diverse community, but Long says it is possible for students who are not of indigenous descent to adapt.
I feel like I'm half Hispanic myself, and I think with culturally appreciating all of the diversity that's present and actually influencing people who come from other native languages, like if they're Filipino or Bangladesh, anything, getting them involved within our native language is just as important as getting the locals involved, because we're all a part of the community. And if we have a community that celebrates our diversity and Chamorro and Carolinian being our native language, I think that's perfect. I see no problem in that.
All 5 senators voted yes for passage. The 14th Cycle Fire Academy is underway, and they are looking for the Sinamay's best men and women. Take a listen. More than 150 individuals turned in their application for the upcoming Fire Academy. There are 53 slots in the Department of Fire and Emergency Medical Services, 36 for Saipan, 11 for Rota, and 6 for Tinian. DFEM's training coordinator, JJ Concepcion, states they are currently in the process of screening each applicant. On Tuesday, DFEM's conducted a physical agility test with 36 applicants, and Concepcion states they are still waiting on more.
We're still looking at a large number to bring in all the prerequisites, which requires English 101 and the PT and the agility.
The academy is expected to launch mid-July and will go on for about 6 months. Here is what fire cadets can expect.
There's going to be a lot of physical agility, a lot of fire essentials academics, which is all with fire, anything dealing with firefighting. And then we have the EMTs, basic first responders for EMTs. And then we have they would be, like I mentioned earlier, hazmat, awareness, ops, and some rescue. But they will be pro board, and we're working with NMC. And NMC is working on how they can get their credits to the academy.
Senior drill instructor Robert Cruz states that the first phase of physical requirements include push-ups, sit-ups, 1-mile runs, and an obstacle course that simulates 10 common skills a firefighter needs to possess. Cruz states DFEMs hold a high standards when it comes to what they are looking for in a potential firefighter.
We are looking for the best of the best average people out there. We are looking for people who are somewhat fit, because we are looking for top-tier individuals that will be applying to be responding to everybody's friends and families. So we need strong-willed, competent individuals that are willing to learn. And in the academy, a good metaphor is that we break them down and we build them up as individuals, as professionals. And in order to get an omelet, you gotta crack some eggs.
Assistant Fire Chief Juan Pua states that since the pandemic hit the Sinamay, DFEMs has been low on manpower.
Right now, we have stretched our manpower. Because of the pandemic, we assign people at the task force at Canoa Resort and some at Marianas Resort. Fortunately, now though, the academy, we're doing the processing, the selection in the academy. That will help us augment the manpower for the operations.
There is no certainty on how long DFEM's employees will stay on the task force, but they will continue to report when needed.
For COVID-19, there's a total of 13 personnel that we alternate them every month. So we assign them there for 1 month, and then they come back to operations, and then we rotate the personnel. So everybody get a share to work at the task force.
Fire Chief Dennis Mendiola states these steps and trainings are crucial for the benefit of the entire CNMI community.
When we go out there, you know, it's my family, your family, everybody's family. They want the best emergency care out there, and having the best of the best for the fire department is crucial and vital for life survivability.
All right, coming up, there was an explosion Sunday in Coblerville. An explosion of goals by one team, not so much the other team.
For the different beats of your life, we're here to keep you connected the way you want it. Plans made for you, by you. Build your own bundle with Link. Select the internet, entertainment, mobile, and home phone plans that fit your lifestyle. Pay for what you want, not for what you don't. Build your own bundle and save with Link.
So what are you going to do this year? At Gold's, a dedicated fitness studio with a cushioned floor is perfect for group exercise. The cardio room features a variety of treadmills, bikes, steppers, and ellipticals. Fitness machines will help you achieve your goals, and the largest free weight area on Saipan gives you comfortable space to work out. Gold's Gym Team is ready to help you get to your goals. Try harder. We know you can do it.
Tonight's sports brought to you in part by Tan Holdings through the Tan Su Lin Foundation, making communities a better place to live.
Buenas sports fans.
Buenas sports fans, Jim Morrison in the Doors once sang, "Been down so long it looks like up to me." Well, the CNMI Oleite Sports Complex has been singing that song since 2015. But those times are changing. It's time to get up. We got knocked down. We didn't get knocked out. So it's time to take that song off our playlist. The countdown to the Northern Marianas Pacific Minigames 2022 is underway. Flags from all over the Pacific were hoisted today at the Oleite Sports Complex, signaling 1 year to go. June 17, 2022 will be the opening for this multi-sports event. Now tomorrow at 4:30, the Pacific Games Committee will hold a ceremony to officially kick off the preparations, which actually are already underway. The Oleite Sports Complex has not looked this good since the 2006 Micronesian Games. Even the parking lot has been painted. Basketball players will appreciate the new floor inside the added gym, which is long overdue. The association's administrative office has been remodeled, and across the hall, a pictorial display highlights the best of CNMI athletics. The bathrooms, so deplorable in the past, have been also transformed. Broken windows have been replaced. All the leaks in the roof have been fixed, hopefully for good. The conference room has been expanded so all 22 nations expected to arrive next year can meet together in one nice place. Fresh coats of paint adorn the inside and outside of the gym. Meanwhile, improvements to Palacio and Tangay ball fields are ongoing. Baseball is one of the 9 sports to be played at the mini games. All of this being accomplished through partnerships of Northern Marianas Sports Association, the private sector, and the government, aided by FEMA disaster relief funding. All right, a point of clarification from Monday's story. The Tossie to Table program is not related to the Saipan Fishermen's Association. All right, last Sunday, the M League, the Men's Soccer League, closed out the National U18A team. We're looking at second place. They didn't lose all season, but those 5 draws put them into a tie with MP United. Let's see how they fared in their last game Sunday. The Nationals in CNMI Blue versus Pirate. Sunday afternoon, close game. The first time these two teams met, but this one was one side, as evidenced by the look of despair on their faces. The A team, A stands for attack, and that's what they did. Richard Steele flicks that in. It was already 5-0, and scores after that are not added. Taka Borja, he takes a shot. The ball deflected out to Richard, and that's his 3rd score of the game. But it was still 5-0 by rule. Pirate trying to crack the goose egg on the scorecard, and that shot just a little high. Logan Mister, he takes a shot just a little bit high. Check out the fancy footwork by Kotaro Goto. Oh, his 3rd score of the game. The U18A team crushes Pirate 5-0, only because they stopped counting at 5.
Trick for him. Him and Richard both have hats.
Is this hat day?
I guess it's hat day. It must be hat day. That's 2 boys with hat tricks on this team.
So you would say it's hat day?
I'd say it's hat day, but not for the team in red.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw.
One of the best things you can do during the pandemic is to get yourself healthy and strong. Gold's Gym is a great place for a tune-up. Wide open workout spaces with dedicated cardio, free weights and machines, personal training, group exercise, and good nutrition. Short-term daytime promo on sale now, just $159 for 3 months. Call 233-4000. Go-karts, off-roading, and the driving range now open at Marianas Trekking. Go-kart track will be open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays with 50% off when you book online at marianastrekking.com. Hours 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Use the promo code HAFA50 to get your discount. Off-roading is open too by reservation. Come on a 90-minute trail ride that is perfect for families. Book online at marianastrekking.com. Golfers, come practice on the driving range. You can even pay online, and we will have the balls waiting for you. Come see us weekends at Marianas Trekking, 323-8735.
Boy, it was hot today. 90 the high on the thermometer. Of course, the heat index much higher. The low 81, 75% humidity. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, isolated showers, wind 5 to 10 miles an hour, high 90, low 80. Seas are calm out there, 2 to 3 feet. Sunrise at 5:47, low tide at 7:14, followed by high tide at 11:24, second low tide at 6:38. Sunset at 10 minutes later, 6:48. That is your news, sports, and weather on this beautiful but hot Wednesday here in the CNMI. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you back here on Friday evening.